You cancel one subscription, and somehow your bank account still feels empty. You stop ordering food for a week. Still broke. You skip coffee. Nothing changes. So where is the money actually going? Because for a lot of people, it's not giant purchases destroying their finances anymore. It's tiny automatic payments. Small charges that feel harmless on their own, but together quietly drain hundreds, sometimes thousands, every year. And the scary part, most people don't even notice it happening. Today, we're talking about the modern subscription trap. Why companies are obsessed with turning your life into monthly payments. How your brain gets tricked into ignoring them. And how these invisible expenses slowly keep people financially stuck without them realizing it. And once you see it, you'll never look at your bank account the same way again. There was a time when you actually owned things. You bought a movie, you bought software, you bought music. Now, everything is rented. Music streaming, video streaming, cloud storage, phone apps, AI tools, fitness apps, delivery memberships, gaming passes, premium versions, ad-free upgrades. Even heated seats in some cars became subscriptions. Companies realized something powerful. A one-time payment makes money once. A subscription makes money forever. So businesses started redesigning entire industries around recurring payments. And honestly, it worked incredibly well. Because a monthly charge feels small. $9 doesn't feel dangerous. Neither does 12. Or 15. But your brain doesn't naturally combine them into one giant number. That's why someone can feel careful with money while accidentally spending hundreds every month on things they barely use. The reason subscriptions are dangerous isn't just math. It's psychology. Researchers call this payment invisibility. The less painful a purchase feels, the more likely you are to keep spending. Cash hurts because you physically see it leave your hand, but automatic payments, they happen silently. No decision, no pause, no emotional reaction. Your brain barely registers them. And companies know this. That's why free trials exist. The goal isn't the free week. The goal is inertia. Because once something becomes automatic, most people stop questioning it. There are people paying for apps they forgot existed years ago. Gym memberships they never use, streaming services they barely open, cloud storage they don't need anymore. And individually, each one feels too small to care about. But combined, that's where the damage happens. Here's how the trap works. You see something useful online. It's only $9.99 a month. That sounds harmless. Then another service is $12. Another is $7. Another is $15. Another is $19. Suddenly, you have 14 tiny financial leaks draining your income every single month. But because they're separated, your brain never treats them like one purchase. Imagine if someone walked into a store and spent $350 every month on random invisible products. They'd panic, but digitally. It feels normal. That's the modern spending illusion. Tiny repeated spending feels emotionally smaller than one large payment, even when the total is massive. And companies intentionally design pricing this way. That's why almost everything is per month instead of yearly totals. Because $14 sounds cheap, but $168 a year sounds very different. Subscriptions don't just sell products anymore, they sell identity. People subscribe to productivity apps because they want to become organized, fitness apps because they want to become healthier, learning apps because they want to become smarter. The subscription represents the person they hope to become, and that's powerful emotionally. But there's a hidden problem. Buying the tool creates the illusion of progress. Your brain feels productive before you actually change anything. You download the app. You feel motivated. You imagine a better future version of yourself. Then a week later, you stop using it, but the payment keeps going. That's why so many people accumulate subscriptions tied to aspirational versions of themselves, not their real daily habits. There's another problem nobody talks about: decision fatigue. Modern life already overloads people mentally. Bills, notifications, work stress, emails, algorithms, ads everywhere. So when a tiny charge appears on your statement, your brain often says, whatever. Not because you're irresponsible, because you're mentally exhausted. And companies benefit from this exhaustion. Some cancellation processes are intentionally annoying. Multiple pages, hidden buttons, confusing menus, because every extra step increases the chance you give up. A forgotten subscription making money from millions of people is an incredibly profitable business model. And most people underestimate how much mental energy financial awareness actually requires. Here's where things get serious. Subscriptions don't just reduce your current money, they reduce future freedom. Because recurring expenses lower your flexibility. The more monthly obligations you have, the more pressure you feel to constantly earn. That creates a cycle. Stress leads to convenience spending. Convenience spending creates more subscriptions. More subscriptions create more financial pressure. More pressure creates more stress. And the cycle repeats. A lot of people think they need a massive raise to improve their finances. But sometimes the real issue is that their money is leaking in 20 directions at once. Not dramatically, silently. So how do you actually fix this without becoming extreme? You don't need to eliminate everything enjoyable. The goal isn't misery. The goal is intentional spending. Here's a simple reset that works surprisingly well. Open your bank statements. Write down every recurring payment, every single one. Then ask 3 questions. Do I actually use this? Would I buy this again today? Does this improve my life enough to justify the cost? That last question matters most. Because some subscriptions are worth keeping if you genuinely use them constantly and they make life better. Great. The problem is unconscious spending, not intentional spending. And once people finally see the total monthly number clearly, it often shocks them. Because invisible spending only stays invisible until you force yourself to look directly at it. The real danger of the subscription economy isn't just money. It's normalization. People are slowly becoming comfortable renting every part of their lives. And when enough tiny payments pile together, financial stability starts feeling impossible. Not because people are lazy, not because they never work hard, but because modern systems are designed to constantly extract small amounts of money automatically and invisibly. That's why awareness matters. Because companies spend billions learning how to capture attention and create recurring spending habits. So if you feel financially drained all the time, there's a good chance you're not just bad with money. You might simply be surrounded by systems specifically designed to make spending feel effortless. The dangerous purchases usually aren't the obvious ones. They're the invisible ones. The tiny charges your brain stopped noticing months ago. And once enough invisible expenses pile together, people start wondering why they work hard but never seem to move forward financially. So this week, try one thing. Audit your subscriptions. Not to punish yourself, just to finally see where your money is actually going. Because sometimes improving your finances doesn't start with earning more. It starts with noticing what's quietly draining you already. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more videos about money psychology, modern spending habits, and escaping financial stress in a world designed to keep you consuming. And remember, small leaks sink ships, even when you barely notice the water. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.